Sometimes I fantasize about teleporting anywhere at any time. We're going to do that right now. Hold on tight. Where would you like to go? I'm thinking London, England. Is this your first time here? It is mine. There's a few things I did while I was here that I'm now going to show you. London has a beautiful skyline, a bustling nightlife, and a very rich history. It is relatively easy to get around and find your way, thanks to the tube. At least if you have a good public transport app. One of the first things I noticed was how incredibly crowded the underground was. But I quickly got used to it. One of the most notable parts of the skyline is probably the famous London Eye. It's the big Ferris wheel that gets destroyed in a bunch of disaster movies. With that said, why don't we get on it? Once it moves higher up, you have the most gorgeous view of the River Thames. Of course, the weather could be better, but I would say this is quite unsurprising for London. It's part of the charm, isn't it? Sometimes you need to stop for a moment and take in your surroundings. Pay attention to the details. Boats, the shape of the buildings, the color of the water. Truly enjoy the view, because every moment passes to make room for the next one. We've still got some time to kill before meeting some friends. We're about to go to a nice vegan restaurant called Unity Diner. If you know Earthling It, you may know this is his non-profit restaurant. It's one of the biggest purely vegan restaurants in the world. London in general is quite the paradise for people on a plant-based diet, I'd say. The food may be good, but the company is even better. You probably know Tippy Tappy ASMR. Meeting him was a delight, and I feel like we immediately clicked. He instantly changed the whole group dynamic when he arrived and heightened everyone's mood. This is Atlas ASMR. I didn't know him before this because he's rather new, but his charisma and charm are undeniable. I had a great long talk with him. Maya ASMR is the sweetest person ever. If you've seen her in her videos, it will be no surprise to you that she's super kind and really fun to hang out with. Katie ASMR is possibly the most real, empathetic, and caring person you could have around. A natural ASMR artist. She's the one I organized this meetup with. Sleepy Kitty ASMR was probably the one I knew best before this whole thing. We collabed a couple of times, so you've probably seen her on my channel. She's such a lovely person and a true badass. She has a strong personality and is really funny as well. Last but not least, Rob is not an ASMR artist, but he's well liked in the community and belonged into this group just like everyone else. He's a gentle soul and a great supporter to lots of creators. I'm very glad I met him. After we finished eating, we went to a pub and talked all night. Sadly, we had to say goodbye eventually. But our adventure isn't over yet. I had to get up early the next morning for a guided Harry Potter filming location tour. It's just as cool as it sounds. First, I got sorted into a house. Hufflepuff. I always get sorted into Hufflepuff, so that's a pretty funny coincidence. The first two locations are the inspirations for Diagon Alley and Nocturne Alley. Recognize them? Then we went to the South African Embassy, also known as Gringotts. They made it 3 times larger in the movies with CGI. And here we are at the location for the Ministry of Magic from Deathly Hallows, featuring our lovely tour guide Eva, who had already warned me about her photobombing talents. To get to our next location, we had to travel by boat. The view from the boat was wonderful, and in between the Harry Potter facts, our tour guides taught us a lot about London history. We arrived at the Millennium Bridge, also known as the Wobbly Bridge, which is destroyed by the Death Eaters in Half-Blood Prince. Fun fact, this bridge didn't open until 2000, but the movie takes place in 1996. The last stop of the tour is King's Cross, where the Hogwarts Express departs from platform 9 3/4. Sadly, the platforms in the movies, platforms 4 and 5, got overrun by Harry Potter fans, so it's closed to the public. Instead, I entered this magical Harry Potter store, where they sell all sorts of merchandise. It was packed to the brim with people, but somehow I still managed to get some shots for your viewing pleasure. This is the perfect place to find a souvenir for someone who likes Harry Potter. You can buy almost anything, from clothing to candy, chocolate, posters, little baby plush Hedwigs, and even wands. If you ever get the chance, I definitely recommend this Harry Potter tour. Make sure Eva is your guide and tell her I sent you. Our next stop is the famous skyscraper called the Shard. We're going all the way up to get the best view possible. London has a bunch of nicknames for some of their buildings, like the can of ham, the cheese grater, the gherkin, the Pringle, the Helter Skelter, walkie-talkie, USB stick, bunch of silly names. You can see all of these buildings from up here, but some of them are too close to the shards, so I couldn't get a good shot of them. What is a visit to London without seeing Buckingham Palace, the home of the Queen? Actually, it's just one of the royal residences. The Queen doesn't use it as her main residence. I didn't know this either. She spends most of her time in either Windsor Castle, Balmoral, or Sandringham. In front of the palace stands the Victoria Memorial. This is our last night here. There is one last thing on my list, and that is the London Dungeon. The Harry Potter tour guide Eva heavily recommended it to us, so I thought I'd follow her recommendation. Obviously, I couldn't walk around with a camera in there, but let me tell you, it was very exciting. All the dark historic events in London, like the torture methods, Jack the Ripper, the plague, the Great Fire of 1666, were told to us or reenacted by very talented actors. Our second adventure has ended. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until next time.